welcome. It's another Tuesday afternoon. It's Roll for Mischief time. Hanging out with my favorite nerds right here, including special guest Alexandra Brandt
Oh,
playing.
that's me.
That's you playing Leoden Sumaria, who is Eridu's sister. It's a family affair lately with the Sumaria clan. You know,
A little awkward.
oh, it's a little awkward. So, before we get rolling on the game here, does anyone have any special announcements that they would like to make?
Uh, no, not that I can think of.
Okay. I have one, I guess. I'm getting better at using the video editing software, and I made this like slick little promotional video for this stream. And if you see it floating around on social media anywhere, feel free to keep sharing that around. We'd love to spread the word about this game and get more people joining the party.
Are we going
You
to play
know.
it on the stream?
Uh, maybe sometime. I don't really have it ready
Yeah.
to go right now,
All
but
right, no, that's fine.
it can be
So cool to get
played
feedback.
at another
Yeah,
time. Yes, I would love to do that. I could also probably upload it to the YouTube playlist. I could also do that as well. Could definitely do that. So stay
amazing.
tuned for more fun video productions, including your favorite nerds, the Roll for Mischief crew. And at this time, we would like to play the intro credits that we love so much. Here we go. Boo! Okie dokie. We are back. Bada bing, bada boom. Here we go. We're going to transition to this thing that we like to call group therapy, which is a chance to check in with the characters and see how they feel emotionally about the whole situation, and also helps to serve as a bit of a recap. And I'll go ahead and start with Agner. Agner is feeling very confused, first of all. Second of all, feeling like the rug has been pulled out from under him yet again because he thought that he was being reunited with his dear friend, Eridu Samaria. As it turns out, Eridu Samaria is not Eridu Samaria in this case, just another situation where Agner is being fooled and deceived, and he just has no idea. He feels like a clueless fool most of the time. But he finally figured out that there was something fishy about Eridu, and it became revealed that it was Eridu was actually his father, Agrian, in disguise of in the disguise of Eridu. And Egner just feels a little burnt out and tired by things now. You know, he's like, oh, of course, this is an Eridu. Of course, like he almost expects like the worst out of everything these days. So he's just little bitter, a little cynical, and really not sure what's going to happen with Agrian and also has no idea what to think of this new person, Leodin. Granted, they literally just met, and Egner feels a bit rude that they just stumbled into her whole home and domain uninvited. But we're just gonna figure it all out, guys.
Sweet. Halifax is also there.
Well, yep.
Or is he? Because who knows?
Well,
Who knows who's actually here or not?
Halifax is Zarkon? What? No! No!
Halifax is Garth. So, Halifax, the last couple of sessions, has been regaining his focus, getting back to the core of who he is as a person, and sort of reorienting himself in this new topsy-turvy world where he's no longer welcome in certain places, hunted down by authorities. He is also a little confused about this situation, but he is comfortable in the confusion. He finds that this is the state that he normally finds himself in, and so has grown comfortable. So he's just rolling with it. Eridu, not Eridu, that's fine. Let's learn about this new guy. I saw him in passing. I know that Aigner had a bit of a clash with him. Eridu wasn't doing particularly well with him. There's this new Samaria lady. Let's get to know her. Also, Ellie somehow knew that Eridu wasn't Eridu. What's all that about? That's curious. But not in a let's string everyone up and torture them until I get answers sort of curious. This is more of a, I would like to find out, but I'm not going to torture people to find out. Like, if it works out that way, great. If not, then he will just carry on helping people the best he can and making new friends along the way, hopefully.
So, at what point what buttons do I need to press to get Halifax to need to torture people for answers?
Oh, I suppose keep pulling that rug. Like he got close, like losing Thiala and the whole town square fight, and then straight after that, like he was out for blood. But
Okay,
now
so
that there's
I need
some
to
sense
kill
of
another guard.
yeah, you just need to make it not comfortable. I've got Aigner, I've got Ellie. I'm set. Like I've got my core people there. If I'm just like separated out from them for an extended period of time, that would be enough. But yeah, kill one of them off.
Just don't kill Halifax. That's all.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, got it.
All right, me. I mean, I'd first of all like to point out how neither of Ellie's close companions seem bothered that this new girl has just attacked Ellie quite viciously. Not bothered. Cool, fine. Ellie is, as we pick up, she is under the calm emotion spell, so she's kind of like, she's a lot calmer than she should be. Before that, pretty annoyed. So she saw that Eridu wasn't really Eridu and was about to run to this girl that they didn't know yet. So in an act of, protecting this innocent new person and her friends, she stopped Eridu from running away and pinned him to the ground. And then new girl big old eldritch blast into her back. And then sets a wolf on her. So inside, Ellie's not very happy right now. But also, yeah, slightly concerned about what I think what's happened to actual Eridu. Like, there's a slight concern there of like, is actual Eridu okay? Like, if this guy's walking around pretending to be him. Also, she hasn't really processed much that she's in a new place. I think she was a bit too distracted by her friend not being who she thought he was, and then trying to protect everyone, and then being attacked, and now under a spell. It's been a big day for Ellie. She also has the first ever answer machine in her pocket, just waiting for
that is true.
Yeah, that's where she is right now.
All right, Leoden.
Right.
First ever group therapy.
So exciting. So Leoden's had a terrible day. Just prior to the party showing up, she was burying a man who now represents to her everything that has gone wrong with her choices in life, and her self-imposed exile has done nothing to protect people from her problem with infecting people with her own emotions. She is now pretty full of despair, or was when they showed up, and then briefly had a moment of joy because she hasn't seen her brother in like a century or something, maybe even more, and he's here, and maybe things won't be so bad. Spoiler, they're worse. And then there's a bunch of people she doesn't know, and one of them just attacked her brother, and so she responds with, she's an emotional person. She responds with emotion. She'll feel bad about it afterwards. She would feel bad now, except she's distracted by feeling bad about everything else. And then just when she's got herself calm enough to not accidentally kill anyone while trying to figure out what's going on, her brother is not her brother. He's actually her worst nightmare come to life, and her calm is shattered. So I apologize in advance for whatever is going to happen, because it's going to be a mess. She's feeling all the bad emotions.
Yeah.
Many bad emotions.
It's a complicated time. It's a very complicated time. And if I remember correctly, the exact moment that we left off on was the revelation.
Exactly.
There really wasn't much time for processing.
Exactly. There's been no processing time.
Yeah.
True that.
True that.
So, Agner has got False Eridu pinned to the ground, if I remember right. Because didn't you tackle the Eridu?
I don't think so. I remember like standing above him. Someone tackled him because I'm standing above him.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
it was Ellie. Because
I got him like on the floor, but now I'm like lying there, kind of dazed and
Right,
yeah.
because the
calm.
wolf dove at you, and
Yep.
it actually bit Eridu,
Sorry.
but it dove on top of you.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the calm motions happened, the wolf kind of rolled off, and I think that's when Agner came up and like put his foot down on Eridu.
I
or
kicked
something
him
like
a
that.
little bit. I mean, not hard. Just nudged him with the foot. Just didn't really kick him necessarily.
Yeah. So, what was the last thing I said last session? That's the real important question. Who remembers?
You said Zarkon sends his greetings, I think.
That's what it was. Good memory.
Cool. So yeah, Eridu has said that in the voice of Agrian. Yep, yeah, we'll just stick with that.
Oh shit!
I
I need dice.
was thinking we should roll initiative, but I don't know that there's a conflict happening yet, so we'll just wait a second. Yeah.
I know that the first thing after a swarm of emotions happening over here is that Leoden's going to ask, "What did you do to my brother?" But I was going to wait and see how other people reacted.
Okay.
Asa,
Would Agner like to react?
What happens?
Asa, I'd like you to set a DC for me, and I'm not going to tell you what it necessarily is for, but I'm set a DC for me, and I'm going to roll a saving throw. And what I'm going to
Ow.
do is
I want to know how difficult a thing that you don't know
yeah.
what it is.
It's well, it has to do with Egner's emotional response to
Yep.
the revelation of Agrian. So
Okay.
said number, and I'll tell you what I roll.
Yep.
I have a 15 total. Wisdom
You fail.
saving throw. Fail? Yep.
Mhm.
I thought so. So Egner just looks as if he's about to speak. You can see like the veins on his neck start popping a little bit. He just like he tenses up, his back curls like he's a cat about to like pounce on something. His eyes just go a little wild, but then he starts to step slowly back. Yeah.
All right.
With this crazy look in his eyes, he just like wants to get away from Agrian.
With that, Eridu begins to stand up, brushing off his meager robes that smell too strongly of lilac. Or not lilac,
Lavender.
Mhm.
I'll
Yeah.
just like pour a hand at him as he like lying next to him as if like I'm trying to pull him back down. I'm like, never mind, it's fine. And then I'll just sort of like almost dreamily watch Aigner like moving away. It's like holding in a slight giggle at what he looks like punching himself up and stuff. It's like Ellie's on drugs, basically.
He doesn't
Oh,
even
yeah, the
seem to
spell.
Notice,
Whoops.
He doesn't even seem to notice Ellie's attempt to restrain him. The castle walls, all like teeming with slightly moving vegetation, all seem to pull in a little bit closer, as though they're listening intently.
If Leodin's calm is completely shattered at this moment, I would presume that everyone actually should be able to either come out of calm emotions or make additional saving throws against it.
You tell me when it's actually completely shattered, because that's an important moment.
Is it constant?
Yeah, pretty much the moment she figures out that Eridu is speaking in the voice of her father.
All right. As Eridu stands, and it looks like the walls of the castle are moving closer, like just kind of shifting closer to listen into what's happening next. In a split second, things happen so fast that none of you really get a chance to react. First off, everyone make except for Leodin, everyone make a wisdom save. DC set to whatever Leodin's spell DC would be.
16.
I got a 12.
Cool.
I got a 4.
I got an 8.
All right, all of you are
No winning.
filled with an uncontrollable rage.
Oh no.
You
I'm
must
sorry.
each make an attack against the closest possible person. Also, we're going to roll initiative, so we can do that in the proper order.
Yay! Yay!
I don't know who is the closest person to him.
Adrian is
Eric.
close. Well, Eridu is closest to you.
I got a 1. I'm going last. Egner
I got an
is
18.
Egner's having a hard time.
I should also roll initiative, right?
Yeah.
11.
Okay.
6.
And then Agner got a 1.
Yeah.
All right.
Really wish that Egner could be more effectual in his response right now, but it's the revelation of Agrian is like just a little too much for him right now.
Fair
You
enough.
you guys remember how badass I made Agrian in the fight, right? He could just like
Yeah.
stab you and then stab you with shadows as well, and then Yeah. So Egner's like remembering a little bit of that treatment that he encountered when he first met Agrian.
As vines lash out from the council walls, traveling quite the distance. The grass itself immediately jutting into out in the spikes. Eridu without a single beat dives over Ellie and reaches for Leoden. And
Leoden?
we get Leoden.
I
I'm gonna
didn't
call her
realize Leoden and Leoden are like so close, but then I think you started saying Leoden like Leoden a little bit.
Yeah, that was my fault. It's Leoden, not Leoden.
Here I was trying to come up with a name that wasn't the same as everyone else's.
All right. No, that won't ever happen. Alex, will you make me an opposing? So I'm making a grapple check. So I'm doing a strength-based check against you. You need to do either a
Oh,
strength,
goody.
athletics, or acrobatics in response.
Right, well, I'm going for acrobatics, but that's slightly better.
All right.
15.
Yep. No, he's gonna win.
He
even-
what?
He's gonna beat you on that because I got a 19. I rolled a 20. I have a -1. But yeah, Eridu dives forward, grabbing you by the throat with one hand, and starts to squeeze without saying anything. The look on his face is one of just maniacal pleasure.
Oof.
Yeah,
It
it's
is now-
horrifying.
Halifax's turn.
Excellent. So I'm filled with a blind rage. I'm just gonna hit the closest person to me. Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
All right. Let's go all Kingsman the Secret Service on this. I am going to whip out my quarterstaff and charge towards who would be the nearest person to me. Let's decide this randomly. Agner will be 1 and 2. Ellie will be 3 and 4, and then Leia.
I think
Leoden.
that's it. Leoden and
Leoden.
Eridu would be a little further away.
Cool.
So I think
Ellie.
Leoden or Ellie?
Ellie, it is.
What is why? Everyone's just suddenly turned on Ellie.
So yeah, I will take on my quarterstaff, run towards Ellie, and then just like swing, whacking her in the head for a 15 to hit.
No, it doesn't hit.
Ooh, blocked ably by Ellie, or ducked under. Dealer's choice.
Ducked, probably. She's...
Yeah.
Literally.
She like calculates where you would hit and then moves.
Madness. What is this madness?
Everywhere you step as you're running, the grass is just jutting up in your wake, as though it's attempting to grab your ankles as you charge forward.
That's not normal.
No,
Oh.
Ellie. Hello,
Okay, so I guess-
taking a swing at you,
Yeah. Okay.
and that seems to really piss you off.
I mean, yes, it does in real life. Okay. I'll go with my rapier for 15 to hit.
I think that hits me. Yeah, my armor class is 13.
Okay.
Do you have
I
mage
mean,
armor cast?
I do not have mage armor cast.
Oh,
That would
man.
be a
Is this-
smart thing to do.
is
the
this
worst
like
thing to do.
we would go all out on these attacks kind of rage, yeah?
You make the call. I'm not going to force you to obliterate your ally.
Go all
He's
out.
just attacked me.
Use
I
your
feel like-
highest level spells on each other. Yes. Yes.
It's more like, so I'm going to use the arcane jolt then.
All right.
You can see
8.
the Twitch overlay, right?
Yeah, it's up.
Me.
You're almost dead.
I can't. This might kill you. 18 damage on that one,
Uh-huh.
and then I get second attack.
Oh
Go for
my goodness.
Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it.
No.
Oh, that probably isn't going to hit though. 12.
That doesn't hit. No.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Looking at Halifax sitting pretty with his 11 hit points.
It's a good luck.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna do something fun in this real quick. Just next up would be Leoden.
Yes, it is my turn.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is when Leoden is going to go suddenly very, very calm.
All right.
I'm sure that will have some effect on the surroundings. I don't know how much effect it will have on people who are already well immersed in their blind rage. But she's gonna, okay. Her action, she's gonna try and, not be strangled anymore. So assume I have to roll another.
Being grappled by him, you could roll a chance to escape right now, which would take up your action, or you could make an attack against him, specifically, and see what that does.
Okay. Then in that case, I guess. No, she'll have to attack him, I think.
Ooh! I want you to roll a. Was it a D6? Yeah, I want you to roll a D6.
Roll a D6.
Yeah.
3.
Okay. If you rolled 4 through 6, you would have cast a spell as a free action.
That makes sense. Okay, instead I am actually going to purposely attack my dear old dad, and I'm not going to use a fancy spell. I'm going to just do Eldritch Blast again.
Okay.
Maybe it'll work so well, as well this time as it did the first time against Ellie. No, oh yes, it will.
Excellent. Excellent.
26.
That hits.
Excellent.
By a
Right,
wide
now
margin.
this time I get to do 3 of them, right? So do I have to roll 3 separate attacks?
I do believe that is Eldritch Blast. Yeah, it's 3 separate attacks.
Okay. Should I roll all the attacks now?
Wow.
Might as well, yeah.
So the first one was 26.
Eldritch. What now?
The second one is 25.
Yep.
Third one is 10.
That will. Wait for it. That's gonna miss.
What?
That's gonna miss. It's a 10.
Yeah, the third one's gonna miss, or all 3 of them are gonna miss?
The third one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Okay, that's good damage. That's
Yeah,
like
that'd
2d10 plus 8 since 2 of the beams hit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
it's plus the 8 if she's got the agonizing blast.
I roll damage for each blast too, right?
Yes.
Right. Yep. Ooh, are you an 11th level warlock?
Yeah.
Like all warlock? It's 4 beams.
It says 3 on.
Oh, it's 4 beam?
Oh
I
no,
thought
no,
it
I'm reading the spells
maybe.
backwards. You're right.
Mhm.
I always do this. I always read the beams and then the level. Yeah. It's 2 at 5th,
It was
3 at
silly.
11th, 4 at 17th.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm always reading it, 5th, 3 beams, 11th, 4 beams. That's how I always read it whenever I read any spell upgrade like that. Make fun of me because I'm a noob. It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, well, I'm also this a noob, so hang on just a sec while I
That's all. This is
double check something.
fun for me.
Okay. So I rolled 13, and I add 4 from my thingy, and then
Another 4.
Another
'Cause-
4, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it'd be whatever you rolled on the 2d10s plus 8, because 2 of the blasts hit.
yeah, so that's 21
Okay.
damage on the first one. Uh, 18 on the second one.
Oh wait, no, it's I thought
It's
you
what-
would you thought you had rolled the two beams together.
Oh, see, that's what I was asking about
Oh,
earlier.
okay. So
Oh
so
yeah, yeah. It's
I was just
1d10 per
I was just
beam
clumping
plus
them.
4.
Yeah.
1d10.
Oh,
plus
I
4 per
see.
beam.
Okay. Oh, I see what you were doing. You were combining everything at once. Okay, then the first number.
It was 21 in total for the whole damage. All right. Cool. And with that, Eridu's hand slackens, and you feel yourself able to breathe again. And as that happens, the ground starts to just shift and move underneath Eridu. It starts to crack open, and roots just dive out and attempt to wrap themselves around him.
Yeah, and this time I'm happy about it.
It is Agner's turn.
What is my status?
You are angry. You need to attack the closest person to you, which right now you have Halifax and Ellie just smacking each other right next to you. One of them.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Who do you feel
Too
more
much.
loyalty to in the moment?
Oh my god. Well, I mean, I have extra attack, so I may as well attack each of them once.
Just like this is the parent walking in and smacking the kids' heads together.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't even know if he's going to say anything. He's just going to be like, because when he was backing away from Agrian, he was like ready to pounce. And then this rage takes over, and then he just like unleashes his sword, and he's like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to... He's freaking out at the moment. Let me make sure I got these numbers right over here.
Good.
Okay, so this one's against Ellie, and that is going to be 15 to AC, and this one is against Halifax, and that is going to be a 17 to AC.
Goodbye, Halifax.
Oh no!
Yeah, it doesn't hit me.
Okay, so Halifax, you take a total of 6 damage. Rolled rather low.
Is that all you've got?
I,
So-called fighter of the party.
you know,
Wow.
for good measure, he's got a bonus action to do.
I mean,
he's-
oh,
no, I'm not gonna do any more damage. I'm just gonna knock you prone or something. So opposed athletics checks.
Okay, give me a sec.
Word. Oh gosh, I rolled really bad.
Hold on.
You
He's-
should be embarrassed of yourself.
I really should be. I have a total of 11 on athletics to try and shove you with my shield.
I got a 7 total. Not a 5.
So he'll slash you, and then he'll just like whack you with the shield, and you'll get knocked back 5 feet from him, and he'll just face Ellie after that, and then miss the attack on Ellie, and then just scream in her face. "Gah!"
Oh no!
I don't even know. I don't scream back.
As that's happening, the earth raising up around Eridu just comes out in like 2 hands covered in dirt and grass, and just wraps around him, pulling him tight to a mass, just to a mass of earth. And then he slowly starts to get pulled down into the ground.
Nice.
That would make it his turn. How is he going to? Oh, I know how he's going to get out of this. And then there is a moment of like Eridu sort of shimmers and then vanishes.
Misty stepping motherfucker.
He
How irritating.
reappears right behind Egner Halifax and Ellie, and just claps his hands together. As he does, there's just this loud crash of thunder.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna
And
shatter us.
I need to look at the shadow spell because he's going to shatter you.
I believe it's a Constitution saving throw, if I remember correctly.
There we go. Constitution saving throw, DC 15. Go!
Oh, I rolled like a beast.
The only person who doesn't have to make this is Leodin because you're not in a. Oh, it's a 10-foot sphere.
18, mother truckers!
Cool.
I got 25.
And I rolled badly. Are any of you made of stone, crystal, or metal?
You wish.
Metal!
Ein's not here. Ein
Too bad.
I'm
I would
made
be
of
so
metal.
screwed by this spell.
Yeah,
Okay, what did you
seriously.
roll, Ellie?
20.
Okay, so you all passed it. As this just wave of thunder crashes over you, you take 9, so half use 4 damage. Thunder damage.
Halifax is up still?
Ah!
1 else, right?
Yeah! Oh my goodness.
All
Elton
right.
John playing in my head right now.
Oh, because you took 6 damage from Egner, and then oh my god! All right.
No, dude. It's okay. Egner will get into his right mind and heal you.
No,
Okay,
no, we're still angry
it
though?
is
I've got this.
Halifax's turn.
I feel like
um,
we're still
Your-
raging, like we.
You're feeling your rage subside a little bit, with a momentary sense of pleasure, and then immediately followed up by just fear. So I would like you all to make a wisdom save now, everyone, but Leodin again because her emotions don't cause her to do things.
Please let Egner roll
Oh.
decently on this, please.
You're gonna let me save against my own emotions?
Nope. Your
Oh.
emotions just happen. Other people deal with the consequences.
But I'm very calm right now.
Right.
I'm making
Kyle.
a bit of a call here that see
You're not letting me
were-
get calm just yet.
You were happy that that Egner was getting grappled by this earth mound, and
You
then
mean
you just saw him vanish.
Agrian.
Agrian, and then there's a momentary like, oh shit, he can do that. Like being able to
That's true.
instantly
That would
move
be
from one
pretty.
place to another is a little bit terrifying. You had a spike of fear, and they all felt it.
Mm.
And
What did you
Okay.
actually
Egner
roll,
now.
Kyle?
I rolled a 2. Plus 2. 2 plus
Right.
I
See-
crit fails.
Yeah, see, this is unfair. I got an 8, but I rolled a 1. And Aigner got less than me, but he didn't roll a 1.
What did Ellie roll?
Crit fail. That's all. I got a 1.
Oh my god.
The 3 of you must immediately move away from the nearest person. You are frightened of the nearest person. If I think in this case, all 3 of you are just frightened of each other.
Guys, we are as weak-minded as stormtroopers right now, dude. Honestly. Leodin could be like, these aren't the
I should not
droids
be
you're
allowed to
looking
be
for.
around you. Oh
Oh.
dear. Oh
Oh,
We're
dear.
very susceptible to Leodin's influence right now.
It is very true. That makes it Halifax's turn, and Halifax is frightened of Ellie and Egner now.
In which case, while they're frightened of me, will they get attacks of opportunity against me?
Can you make?
Aren't you all
attacks
kind
in
of like
frightened condition?
moved away from each other?
I would say, mean,
I believe in the
know.
frightened condition, you must spend your action moving
Yeah.
as far away from the.
Yeah,
target.
I mean,
No.
all, attacks would be at disadvantage anyway, but I think they still get the reactions. So,
But
what
also,
I do-
I think it's
the
a-
rage
kinda
at each
up to
other
us.
is not there anymore, so that may not be a reason for them. To
Mhm.
attack you.
true.
Might be too
Um,
scared to attack.
Right.
I will be leaving straight up. I'm going to use my Radiant Soul ability. Transform, gain glimmering eyes, 2 incorporeal wings for 1 minute, and I am flying straight up.
Oh man, this is becoming a whole scene. Wow.
Wow.
Wonderful
Yeah.
scene.
I don't think Leodin's ever seen anything like that.
Yeah, this rarely gets brought out, and yeah, I'm just straight up away from you guys. I'm gonna use the dash action. In fact, I'm gonna just 60
Halifax
feet
is
straight up.
out of here, dude.
Yep, I'm outie.
He's
All right.
out, like a
Uh,
trout.
Then we go to Ellie. Ellie, you're making a getaway, I'm assuming? How you doing that?
Yeah. So I'm scared of just Eigner and Halifax or
Right.
everyone.
No, yeah, just them.
So I could run towards the new girl
Yeah.
or Eridu. Where's he?
So he's on the other side of you, so he's like maybe a few feet away from you on the other like probably 10 feet away from you on the other side of Leoden. There's like this sort of mound of earth that's
Okay.
raised up in front of Leoden, and then there's her, and then there's Eridu on the other side.
I'm just gonna run towards them.
Okay.
As far as I
Me?
can. Well, both of you. If you're in pretty much the same place, I'm running towards both.
No, he moved.
Yeah, Eridu's in the other direction.
Okay, well I'll run towards him then. Sorry,
Okay.
that was slightly confusing.
Yeah,
I ran towards him.
you can still, I believe. No, I'll have to look at the frightened condition. I think you can still do an attack against a creature that you're not frightened against. If you wanted to run up and attack Eridu, that would be acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Totally acceptable. I'm allowing it.
Cool.
I'm the GM. I make the rules, even if they're not the rules as designed. I make them. Advantage on a checks and ability rolls while the source of fear is within line of sight. So, in this particular scenario, if you are running away from Agner and Halifax and can't see them anymore, you won't have disadvantage on your attack roll.
Well, okay, so 19.
That hits.
I'll do Arcane Jolt on it. So that's 15.
That
magic.
will miss.
No, that's damage. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
And then second attack is 18. Cool.
That will hit.
And 12 damage on that one.
Okay. Your final hit. So this is the part of the game where I say that'll kill him. How do you do it? But your final hit will incapacitate him. How will you? What is that gonna look like?
I think just again trying to tackle him. So run at him and push my rapier into him.
Okay.
I'm more brutal than I'm ready to.
Damn.
So you're running forward, charging, and you just pierce him right through the side with your rapier.
Tackle stab.
Just kind
And
of
then I push him to the
fall
floor.
him to the ground. Yeah.
And then with the second attack, jab it in him again.
As you do, the earth, as soon as he hits it, the earth kind of shuffles and moves and wraps around his arms and his legs and just kind of pulls him a little bit to the ground, so he's not really able to get out of this easily.
He doesn't look like he's being pulled into the ground though, like he's gonna disappear. Just
No,
restrained.
just
Right.
fused into the ground, so he, like when you bury someone in sand, you know.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
You hear you see that sort of crazed look come out of Eridu's eyes for a second. He looks at you with a sense of confusion in his eyes, and you hear him faintly whisper, "Ellie, how did I?" And then his head drops back, and his eyes kind of roll back into unconsciousness.
So that it was Eridu's. It felt like Eridu speaking.
It was definitely his voice, yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Are we still in initiative? Or...
No. Although, maybe. Depends on Leodin.
So let me just get this straight. Eridu, who I'm now positive is my horrifying father, is being grappled by the earth and is also looks to be pretty incapacitated at this point, right?
Yeah, from where you can see him, it looks like the earth is sort of swallowing him up, and Ellie's got a pretty good, she's like pinned to the ground with her sword, pretty much.
Okay. I'm going to step forward and say, I'm so sorry. You should all leave right now. I'll take care of my father. This isn't your fight.
So without
I'm
oh,
sorry to beg to differ, madam, but even though we've just met, this fight is partly
Are you
ours.
still flying, by the way? Are you still up in the air?
That's a good point.
shouts down.
It is
I'm
not
sorry.
permanent.
Oh, fine.
Never mind. I will rescind that interaction.
I'm
Ellie,
sorry.
Aigner.
I mean,
I will. Since
you
things
can
have
fly
like
and talk, right?
I can fly and talk, but I'll be heading down if Ellie or Aigner want to do the whole
Who
this is our fight
who
too.
have you stepped up to? Have you stepped up to me on him or to Aigner? Alex.
What? I didn't hear your question. Sorry.
Who have you stepped up to, me or Aigner? Because I'm on top of everything.
You're
at the moment,
how
so-
far away from each other are you? I was just
like
gonna...
far. We ran opposite directions.
Okay.
Egner didn't even get a chance to say what he was going to do, but he was probably going to just dive in the opposite direction. He didn't get a chance to do his fearful thing, but that was definitely the
right.
fearful thing he was going to do, was do a full-on dive away from everybody.
Yeah, he's probably
Okay.
mid that action as soon as people are speaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then what Leodin has done is stepping toward the prone figure of her dad/brother, and just is yelling and projecting to make sure that everyone hears her.
Okay.
I will not take my eyes off of Eridu, and just hold my hand up halfway through her sentence to try and basically telling her to shut up. And I'd like to cast Detect Magic on myself, please.
Okay.
No?
What?
What?
Detect Magic?
Detect
What's that?
magic. Okay, then
Oh,
you're,
yeah.
you're
That's-
detecting
that's-
magic.
That is on me. I am
And-
sorry. I was
It's like,
I was thinking there was interpersonal things going on, and I was catching up on Twitch chat.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. You're detecting magic, and the whole of the ground is just teeming with the sense of an arcane magic. You can sense vaguely that it's a type of magic closely associated with the Feywild. But otherwise, School of Magic this is just a power beyond being able to exemplify in a school. And but Eridu seems to have no traces of that inky black magic that you saw earlier. What you are seeing coming off of him is sort of like this pulsating infected veins kind of looking stuff coming from his eyes down through his head and sort of traveling through his body in these slight convulsions, and it is necromantic magic.
mhm.
Hmm.
Not divination magic.
You mean illusion?
That spell, the illusion kind of thing that was covering him is gone.
Okay. So I'm gonna shout over my shoulder to Aigner. Because I know that Aigner had a detect objecty thing. What was it? Follow object. And ask if he has locate person.
His first response to you will be, "Fireball incoming! Company, move! Move!"
Why?
And then he'll dive from his current position into a bush, and
Is he having flashbacks?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Having some PTSD happening over there?
yeah, for real. and then
Okay.
and then after a while, when a fireball in fact does not explode in the vicinity, he gets up out of the bush and looks around in a daze and kind of shakes his head and brushes the leaves and the dirt off of him a little bit. And he just walks up and says, I'm sorry, Ellie, did you say something?
Yep. Do you have like a locate person style thing, like a detect whether a person is actually who they say they are kind of thing?
I don't have any energy to do anything like
Okay.
that necessarily.
Can I see does Eridu have the Fiala band that I gave him?
Ooh, now there's an interesting little detail.
Have the what?
I gave them like you know, like how you wear black bands of mourning around your arm.
Oh yeah.
I've given them each one based on Fiala dying. So
Roll me an investigation check.
plus 15 plus 9, so like 24.
Okay. You remember that he had wrapped it around his I don't know, his left wrist because he's right-handed. And so you looking at him now, his limbs are covered in the earth. So you begin to dig and tear away at the grass and the dirt. It seems to fight you back a little bit, but you uncover his, dig up his arm, kind of pull it out, and he's still got the band. It's holding on a little bit tattered and torn, but it is the same band you gave him good morning.
I like run my finger along it to check that it still does like the heat thing to make sure it's the exact one and not just like copy.
It does still respond in the way that you had intended.
Okay. Then I'm gonna sit back and finally look at Leodin. I'm so sorry. I haven't said the name out loud yet.
No, it's Ace's fault.
It's all my fault.
It's all his fault.
In truth, it's Leovin's fault, but just remember her name is Leah for short, and then maybe that'll help.
There you go.
I'll sit back and sort of finally look up at you. Well, I mean, I get we're in your, well, whatever this is, but I mean, it kind of is our fight, and this is our friend, and
So you're saying that this is Eridu?
No, he's not.
I believe so. Agna, so Agna's like next to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reach out and take his hand and pull it slowly, take full advantage of the moment, down to the band around the wrist and like run it, like physically move his fingers along it, and then say he wears the band for Thiala. Like this couldn't have been replicated by whoever that was.
Okay, so then he killed Eridu, and Eridu's dead in a ditch somewhere, and he stole all of Eridu's clothes, and somehow made himself look exactly like Eridu. It's exactly something that a dirty drow like him would do.
The magic that I saw on him is gone. I think it is him. He spoke to me before he passed out. He recognized me. This guy that doesn't know who I am. I mean, I guess he could have learnt my name, but it's less likely. That's what I'm trying to say. I think it is him.
Well,
You were the
It's
one
only-
who thought it wasn't him in the first place, and then threatened him with a sword, so I don't know how you feel about that.
I'm curious as to how Ellie came to that conclusion as well. Greetings, Halifax. But
Do we need to have a conversation about magic? It's
yes.
called detect magic. It's
Look,
a spell.
there's only
You're a wizard. Come on.
look, there's only one way to find out here. And without really asking anyone, Agner's just going to go ahead and do this. And he's going to take a hand and he's going to place it directly on Eridu / Agrian / whomever it is. He's going to place it on his chest and he's going to do a first level casting of Cure Wounds.
Okay.
Cure wounds, you said?
Cure Wounds. I'm going to cure some of this dude's wounds and wake him up maybe and then see what the hell he says.
All right.
He gets a total of 5 hit points back.
Boom. Eridu gasps very deeply and then looks at just kind of looks in shock straight ahead, and then his eyes sort of make their way over to Agner. And then he, for those of you who can see him, Agner can't because he's blind. He kind of is looking around, looking at the sky, looking at the parts of the castle that he can see. Agner, where am I?
Tell me something that only I would know.
You stole my idea.
He looks.
Great minds, Alex.
And Agner can hear it weakly in his voice, the confusion in his voice. Why?
And then I'll reach out and grab the robes and, kind of scruff them up a little bit. And, Agner might have some pretty bad breath right now, so he's just kind of like breathing bad breath on Eridu, and he'll say, because I can't trust that you are Eridu right now.
I don't understand. How did I get here? Where am I?
I have no idea where we are. I'm actually not very helpful.
My computer.
Alright, Leodin's gonna step forward and say, "You're in my home. And Agrian is responsible."
Eridu, Agner can feel under his grip of Eridu's robes that he is trying to shift, and then that's when he first realizes he's being held firm by the earth, and it sort of tightens as Theoden speaks, and Eridu looks up at her in absolute shock. Theoden. How did you... I've been looking for you for so long. How did you find me?
I didn't find you. Please stay still. Stay calm. And then I also, at least she's going to be trying to figure out if this really is Eridu or not.
Okay.
Now that she's had that seed of doubt planted in her head. Should I roll something or just...
You could roll an insight.
17.
There is a level of honesty deep in Eridu's eyes that you remember from a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's tried in the past, lying to you on several occasions, usually on little things that embarrassed him, um,
Mm-hmm.
particularly things of a sexual nature. And you've always been able to see when he's lying because when he does, he sort of, uh, as a good term, I can't think of what it was, but he retreats behind his eyes,
Mm-hmm.
and you're seeing this, amongst other things with him right now, just the sense of confusion, this very weary. Uh, he doesn't really know where he's at, what's happening around him. He seems very disconnected from the moment, but there is honesty in his eyes and a presence that usually comes from when he is revealing or communicating some of the hardest truths he's ever had to share.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, then she's convinced that it's actually Eradu at this point.
If Agner had the ability to see, it might be enough to convince him because he knows the Eridu look of like true penetration. That sounded dirtier than I meant it to.
Look, whenever you use that word, that just happens.
It's true.
That just happens. So Egner's actually getting a little frustrated right now, and he's not really picking up on any of the cues or anything that anyone else is going through. But he can tell that Eridu is restrained at the moment, and he's getting a sense that Halifax is really not doing so well. Maybe you can hear or smell like Halifax's blood all over him, and he's like, yeah, and maybe he's remembering the fact that he slashed Halifax and hit him with the shield. So he's going to step back from Eridu, go over to Halifax, and use his last spell slot to try and repair some of the damage over there. And
I'm perfectly fine, Agna. There's no need. I was thinking recently that maybe I should try stand-up comedy, except right now I can't stand up.
Look, that's the thing, Halifax. I'm trying to help out a little bit, and I am sorry, but to be honest, you looked like you deserved it a little shield bashing for just a second there. Just a second there, you just looked like you deserved a little smack across the face with the shield. I'm sorry though. So here you go.
I shout back saying, "Can confirm."
Ellie,
So you're
I
saying
am.
he had a. Oh, sorry. Go on. I was gonna make a dumb joke.
I am sorry, Ellie. Go ahead, Alex.
Oh, it sounds like he had a serious case of Buckpfeifengesicht.
Ah, yes. The
Face
fist.
in need of a punch.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so I will gently touch Halifax and give him a bit of a shoulder rub like we like to do with each other, and then give him 7 hit points back. 7 hit points through a nice little shoulder rub.
Mumble into my breath. Well, I was hurt too, but it's fine.
I mean, even Leodin's feeling a little jealous right now.
Hey, let us have our man love.
Just for a moment.
Sorry, ladies, all out of spell slots.
All right, I'll turn to Leah.
Leah.
Yeah, you could just call her Leah if that's easier.
Let's do Leah.
And we won't, keep messing the name up.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
say, I mean, I did say twice now that who he was, and you guys didn't believe me, but, thanks for not attacking me this time.
Yes, and I deeply apologize for that. In my defense, I did think you were threatening my brother, and I guess you were, but you weren't, but you aren't. At any rate, I'm sorry.
I stand up and hold my hand out to shake it, and my hand is covered in like grease and stuff because all of my like spells and things use mechanically things. And I don't bother like wiping it off or anything. I'm just like, I'm
My
Ellie.
hand is covered in dirt because I was just burying a guy. So
Do you say that out loud?
no, I do not
That's
mention that. But I do have very
Okay.
dirty hands.
Okay, I pause at that slightly. That's yeah, all right, but I don't ask.
Uh-huh.
So what? Where are we? What's this place called?
Yeah, what is this place called, Asa?
Yeah. What is this place called,
Home.
Alex?
Hey,
Two can
This
play
is-
that game.
my castle.
We call it
Hemlock Grove.
my castle. Oh man.
We call it this land and or your grave.
Whoa.
Okay.
Failed
the
threat.
castle itself could be called Lark's Ridge, as
Could be.
it is close to the town of Larking,
Okay.
and it once was used as an outpost for the town to overlook potential like army movements through the area as potential threats. You know this just from gathering information. It's been unactive for the entirety you've been in this part of the world.
Yeah, and honestly, I imagine I've had to interact with the locals at least a little bit just in order to survive. So.
Oh yeah, you've been to Larking. They're interesting people. A collection of humans, lizard people, and cat people that get along pretty well together, but are a little bit suspicious of outsiders. They eventually welcomed you before, starting cults surrounding you.
I've tried very hard to make sure there are no local cults.
Yeah, this was one of those ones that like you kind of were able to get out before anything stuck, but
Hmm.
it has unfortunately become one of the stops for the pilgrimage, which the town isn't too worried about since it does bring some money.
They don't know what happens to those poor saps after they get here.
They don't.
So what's your answer?
Sorry, I've got
when I
fan.
okay. So I asked like where we are. So what of that do you tell me? Like,
I
name?
tell you, Lark's Ridge near the town of Larking. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And is this something like I've ever heard of?
No.
What?
And on top
What
of that,
country
you
are
haven't
we
even
in?
heard of cat or lizard people. The fact that sentient cats and sentient lizards are a thing, aside from Dragonborn, is a bit awkward. You are in the nation of. Give me a second.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've been to Give Me a Second before. It's
Uh-huh.
lovely this
Yeah.
time of year.
Yeah, it's a good one. This is the nation of Sutton, and you don't know very much about it aside from the areas you've been into recently. It's pretty sparse, though. It's made up of a lot of smaller communities that mostly work on or focus on agriculture, and it's more of a warmer. I want to say temperate, but that's not right. It's almost a jungle climate, but not quite.
Like subtropical.
Yeah.
Is that
So
so? Do we know it? Is it on our?
no,
Like,
You don't recognize the name or anything else about
it
it.
is not on your continent or the surround. Well, as far as you know, it's not on the areas you've explored that have been mapped out on your continent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Since I've been there once too, I know where it is relative to where we started out. Like, for example, where Eridu and I started out.
You don't. You were never actually able to find a map.
Like, okay, I can't place it. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, continue.
Any reason why there would be a random portal that brings us here in the middle of a forest that you know of?
Well, given the person that it brought us in front of, I don't believe that the portal itself was random. Perhaps our
Agrian.
Argonaut.
Agrian.
Adrian?
Adrian. Perhaps Agrian brought us here deliberately,
Can I just-
using Eridu as some sort of puppet.
I sort of slightly narrow my eyes to Halifax off my shoulder in a, I'm trying to get information out of her without giving her the information to give us kind of look. But
Suspicious of her.
she attacked me! Yes, we're suspicious of her!
Has established herself to be Eridu's sister.
Yeah, but we thought that was Eridu before and it wasn't Eridu.
But it is Eridu, is it not?
But it is now, it wasn't!
Look,
Halifax, come
look, for all I know,
Are you all having this conversation in front of me? Because
I know,
that's
I'm pretty
something
sure
I
we
know.
are. Pretty sure we are. And
Yeah.
then and then Egner, not to be left out, will lift his finger and say, "Look, for all I know, none of us are who we are,
Any of us?
who we say we are. Maybe we're none of us. Maybe Agrian's
God.
all of us. How about that?"
I mean, I thought Halifax was whatever Reginald guy.
Yeah, what happened to Regis?
Yeah.
Regis Alvaron the second.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm
We lost
at some
Adrian
point I
Sherman.
am going to break in and say, I don't think there's anything special about this place. I think it's me, and I'm sorry that this is happening. Which is why I thought you should leave when I thought this was my father, but if it's Eridu, that changes things.
See, I see this as. Oh, gone.
Oh, go on.
I see this as absolute confirmation that this is indeed Eridu's kin. She believes that the place is not important, but she is important.
Okay.
Yes, I can see the family resemblance.
As if he sensed the fact that the attention had drawn away from him, Eridu cries out in
I
pain.
forgot he was awake.
From his spot halfway underground, Eridu screams out in pain.
Oh.
And Agner, you can smell the pungent scent of rotting flesh.
Oh. Agner will leap in the direction of Eridu and attempt to administer some kind of aid.
We'll
Alright.
lead it in. We'll probably bonk heads as we go.
Oh, okay. Clonk.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm definitely gonna try and get in there.
For sure.
Leah, having her sight, sees these veins, like these not veins, but these pulsing lines of black, just underneath the skin, traveling along the veins of his face.
Mm. Oh shit, that looks like shit that happened at Egner.
Oh,
Those meat together,
Leland doesn't
probably.
know that Agner's blind, so she
No.
won't even try to describe it to him.
No. It's okay. Egner's used to that. He's used to it. Egner will get there.
She-
Huh?
yeah, go on. No,
Ag-
go on.
Egner will get there and immediately attempt a medicine check, regardless of how effective it will be. He'll start
Roll it.
tearing off like little strips of gauze and like just say like, "Hold on, Eridu, I gotcha." It's a decent roll. Let's see
So
if it
what I'm
actually
hearing
does
is
anything.
deep down, he actually does believe that it's Eridu, regardless of what his doubts tell him.
Yeah, well, I would say the cry of pain being that like severe and and genuine as well, like something like that, hard to fake, or it's like, or it's it would sound really fake. You're like, oh, I'm hurt. Well,
Yeah.
it didn't sound like that. It sounded like Eridu actually in pain.
Right.
For real. So he just like responds in this like very instinctual way, and he's got an 18 on the medicine check.
Okay. Yeah, he moves forward. Him and Leah kind of crash for a second, but Agner's hands move fast, and he, his hands go to Eridu's face, and immediately you can just feel this heat radiating off of him. Sweat is pouring into your palm from his face. He is high in fever, and he's just like his body is tensed as he's pushing against the earth. Still just this like labored breathing with winces of agony coming through. And Leoden seeing him, like Eridu's eyes are rolled back in his head. The whites of them are permeated by these lines of this black, almost infection. And it seems to be like flowing and moving as though it's something living just under the flesh.
Wow.
What has happened to him? What did you do to him? All
What
of
did
you,
we do?
collectively,
It's-
somehow.
You pulled him into the ground. Was that not you?
Aster, can
I
I
did
do an
not do
Arcana
this.
check?
Yes, you may.
Yes.
In the hubbub, Agner will turn to the other voices and say, "Look, we need to stop bickering, and we need to get him inside right now. Get him laid down on a cot. I need hot water. I need more gauze." And then we could do
I didn't think God
Halifaxes.
was going to help Wagner.
26.
Yeah. So, you don't know much about medicine, I don't think. I could be wrong. But you do know something about curses. And, you've seen infection before, but it doesn't move quickly in the way that this is happening. There is definitely something happening here that is involved in some form of magical curse.
That seems bad.
And I can remind Ellie that when she looked at him with detect magic, there was an aura of necromantic magic around him, or a sense of it around him.
for sure.
I say that now, after all this discussion. Oh yeah, there's also, like, necrotic stuff inside him.
Oh yeah, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't think gauze is going to help, Wagner. Put the medicine kit away. Put the medicine kit away. Like, try to
Look,
push the
okay,
gauze away.
okay, all right. Whether or not gauze is actually going to help, you don't know that until I get to work my magic. And by magic, I mean get me gauze, and let's get him inside. I need hot water. I need everything that. Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Let's get him in there.
I would love to help him. Leoden would love to help him and do that too, because basic medicine is literally all she knows in the same way. But I'm not sure if she is capable of helping him to be released by the earth yet. I presume that's something I need to roll, Asa.
Yes, please do.
Oh dear.
D6?
What?
A D6 or
I don't want to handle this.
because she's still. I mean, okay, she was calm and now she's not calm anymore. So
Okay, yeah, let's do D6. That makes sense.
well, that's a 2.
Okay. So nothing seems to happen. The emotions are driving a little bit higher. The earth seems to be in this state of like, Agner can feel it under him, like softening and then getting hard again, as though it's uncertain of what exactly it should be doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Well, in the little periods where the earth has a little more give, Agner is trying to get his hands like under Eridu's armpits and then try and lift him up a little more, and then there's resistance, and then he's able to lift him up a little more, but it's a whole fight, and he doesn't really have any good leverage. He's like hunched over, like just trying to make it happen.
Do I think if I'm... Oh.
Go on,
Sorry.
go on.
I was gonna say, do I think if I made him smaller, it would be easier?
Right?
Could, like reduce him and pull, like, quick. pulling him out of the ground.
Oh, I've got a better idea, or what might be
Oh
a better
well.
idea.
All right,
Well,
Halifax.
I'm so excited.
Oh,
Kelly's about
I've
to
got a
storm
better
off at this
idea.
point. Everyone's starting to wander up.
I, however, am looking up the thing that I'm going to potentially do, but my theory is polymorph.
Mm-hmm.
Polymorph lasts for an hour, or until they drop to 0 hit points, and then they revert. So it's basically giving him an extra buffer of hit points, and turning him into something that might not have this curse. But if the curse still persists, it'll hurt the polymorph form before him. I can turn him into a beast of challenge rating 11 or lower.
Oh my god. Really?
So I need something with a lot of hit points that'll be easy for us to transport around.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Don't turn him into a spider.
I mean,
With a lot of hit points, though.
yeah, a lot of hit
Like-
points is the
I
thing.
think,
I'm
I think a
looking
lot
for.
of hit points and easy to transport are not going to be in the same like Venn diagram situation. Like,
Well, what about an elephant? An elephant would burst out of this hole, and we could ride on his back.
Through a
Would that
tunnel?
be?
Wasn't
Would
there
that
a
be?
tunnel involved somewhere?
I don't know.
Would that be Elifu?
Elifu instead of Eridu? Nope.
Yeah.
Turn him into a T-Rex.
Baradu's better. Don't turn him
Baraду.
into a T-Rex. Don't do
A T-Rex
that.
is the highest challenge rating beast in the monster manual.
Oh my dear god. Wow.
Pteranodon. I'm gonna keep on making Eridu mashups, okay?
I mean, if you turn him into a T-Rex, I might still reduce him.
Okay, I mean,
Tiny
Goodness.
T-Rex.
And you
I'll
could
make him
sing
bigger.
tiny T-Rex.
I mean, elephant would be
Yeah.
easy to do. Saber-tooth tiger, rhinoceros. Ooh, I could turn him into a Quetzalcoatl.
Do it.
Ooh, how pretty.
Oh wow. Alright. Agner will be so out of his depth and so confused, but just go for it. Just go for it.
Wait, that's not Eridu. It's actually this thing.
What is going on? It's a plane? It's
I don't even know what's going on anymore.
Is that?
So,
Is a Quetzalcoatl actually a beast?
Volo's Guide to
It is
Monsters.
now.
According to this, let's just double check.
Isn't that thing like part god?
I thought so.
I thought so too. But you know how Dungeons and
what?
Dragons rolls. The
Quetzalcoatl.
Quetzalcoatl.
just a bird.
Okay.
But a
Oh, no, I guess it's a
mythical
petrel.
bird.
Petrel is a bird.
Word. The bird is the word.
I'm curious. Okay, so is that what you're gonna turn him into?
A bird god?
A bird god, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It is a CR2. Does have
Yeah.
30 hit points. It can
yeah.
fly.
Have you got the
Yeah.
thing there? Yeah, that's what I will turn him into. It'll
Goodness.
be.
So
How many hit points did you say it has?
30.
That's better than nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean it's half of Eridu's normal hit points.
Yeah, I'll turn him into one of those. We'll carry him around. He'll be fine.
It is a huge beast.
That-
I mean, that just wanted to throw that out there size-wise.
Huge, huge.
Huge.
Yeah. That's like
So huge that Egner just ducks backward. It looks like he has another flashback moment where he's like, ah!
Couldn't you make him a medium beast instead?
I mean, I could, but huge. We could ride on.
Oh,
But what if we have to
Halifax,
go into a
take an
tunnel?
animal.
What if we have to go into a tunnel? This is a valid question.
Oh, all right. Oh, yeah, it's also a type of dinosaur I've just found. It's a Quetzalcoatlus,
Yes.
not an actual like
Um.
Quetzalcoatl thing.
Yeah.
All right, then I can turn him into a swarm of quippers.
Look, just turn him into something.
Just turn him into something.
Just pick something.
All right, brown bear.
There we go, Baradu.
Baradu
The return of Baradu.
Baradu's form starts to shape and change, breaking away from the earth, fur covering his body. As he rolls over onto his stomach, his arms and legs shifting underneath him as his back extends, his head coming like turning up forward and changing into a bestial form, a snout sort of lightly rising out from his face. His claws dig into the earth for a moment. It seems to shudder underneath his grasp. You guys all feel the slight tremor of the ground, and then a massive roar fills the courtyard. And then Leah hears a voice in her mind, and it says, "If you truly want to cure him, you need to bring him to me." And that's where we're going to take a break.
Well,
Okay.
cool.
Well, join us again in about 10 to 15 minutes, and maybe we'll find out whose voice that was. I've got an inkling, but
I think it was Ace's. I heard it.
Well, yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll be right back.
See you in a bit.